Guys, today modern AI is quite advanced, except two problems. It is censored and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't, but let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Venice AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Venice AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Venice AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Venice AI SET, and use the code SET. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Venice AI, guys. Hey, this is SET and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor. And we are live. Yo, this is SET with SET Media, guys, and I'm back with another one for you. All right, guys, we're about to go ahead and do a quick live. We're going to go ahead and cover Trump, gaggle with the press, and then we're going to get into Candace Owens' claims about Charlie Kirk's assassination, which are some wild ones, but, well, let's hear her out. And then we'll go ahead and take a pause for the 2 a.m. live. All right, guys, let's get right into it and appreciate the support, guys. But let's remember to double tap that screen. All right, let's go.
Not really. I'm really concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country. Yeah.
And that's one thing that the Charlie Kirk assassination proved, is that we got a lot of radical lunatics out there. I mean, of course, the guy who shot Kirk, and then all the people who celebrated it.
Mr. President, how do you want to see your supporters respond to this? Charlie Kirk was a big advocate of nonviolence and free speech on campus. How do you want your supporters to respond, sir?
I think that way. He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond. Say it? I did. I spoke to Erica, his wife, and we had a long talk, and she's devastated. She's absolutely devastated, as you can.
And she had quite the fired up speech. You know, she pretty much came in with the, oh, you guys do not know what you guys done set off within her and the people of the United States, and also people around the world. You didn't expect him to I didn't expect it to have that type of effect. But here we are, baby. Here we are.
Imagine.
R.I.P. Charlie Kirk.
I don't know what you're saying.
When, Mr. President, are you planning to bring both presidents, the president of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, and president of Rwanda?
Yeah, they're coming soon. They're coming soon. And as you know, I spoke to their foreign ministers. They were here a couple of weeks ago, as you remember. And they'll be coming soon. The presidents are coming very soon.
This week, Mr. President, I witnessed more than 60 people in DRC Congo were killed. There is people affiliated with ISIS. terrorist group are taking advantage because of the situation going on because of the war. So what is
Honestly, that's kind of one of the claims of the Charlie Kirk assassination. And terrorist cells, sleeper cells. Yeah, I know, one of the many wild claims.
your word for Congolese people?
Well, we're going to be talking to them. As you know, we are talking to them. It's a very violent place. It's very, very violent. For a long time, it's been going on for 30 years, 35 years even, they say. But we're going to handle it. Thank you. Can't understand.
And shout out to my man Hellbat. He said, don't forget that Kirk almost went into a lawsuit over a certain mainstream media calling one of his gatherings a Nazi gathering. He won, and he won without it. I mean, shout out Hellbat for starting us off, and ain't that the facts? And I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's killing me how they don't take accountability for their language. Like, you've been calling them Nazis, you're saying that he's spreading hate, and you don't think that's gonna, you don't think that language radicalizes anybody? Like, let's be real here.
What do you think about the media that justify the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I think it's terrible. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's terrible.
Why haven't they found the shooter yet, Mr. President? Are you concerned that it's been 24 hours?
Well, I hear they're making big progress, and we'll have to see what happens.
Do you have any indication of the shooter's motivation, sir?
I have an indication, yeah, but we'll let you know about that later.
You spoke with Uzbekistan president, and this last Sunday you sent greetings to Kazakhstan. UN General Assembly is upcoming. Are you going to meet with the presidents of Central Asian countries?
Oh God, do me a favor and double tap that screen, man. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
President, where?
Central Asian countries, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan.
I will be, yeah. They're very good people, and I will be doing that, yes.
Do you believe the killer was a trained assassin? Usually your instincts are always on.
I'd rather not say. I think progress is being made. He's an animal, total animal. And hopefully they'll have him and they'll get him. What he did is disgraceful. Charlie Kirk was a great person, a great man, great in every way, especially with youth. And what he did, what this man did, was disgraceful. So hopefully we'll have him and we will deal with him very appropriately.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Which we do have them, and there's been more details released. But what we know so far is he grew up in a conservative family, but he came out extremely leftist. He has a roommate who was his partner, who is a man who is transitioning into a woman. So he was a gay dude living with a transgender woman. Yeah.
Could have been a mistake.
But he's on the right, though, huh? Really?
Could have been a mistake. But regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. But hopefully it's going to come to an end.
Mr. President, in Brazil, Bolsonaro was just found guilty by the Supreme Court. You've been very clear that you would apply sanctions. Are you thinking further sanctions to Brazil because of this Bolsonaro?
Well, I watched that trial. I know him pretty well. Foreign leader. I thought he was a good president of Brazil. And it's very surprising that could happen. That's very much like they tried to do with me, but they didn't get away with it at all. But I can only say this. I knew him as president of Brazil. He was a good man. And I don't see that happening.
I'm very sorry for your loss, for everybody's loss. I'm very sorry for your loss, first of all.
Thank you.
How do you think Israel's attack in Doha will affect the hostage deal?
You better say it a little bit more. Where are you from?
I'm from Israel. Channel 14
Okay,
is like
go ahead.
Israeli
Do it again.
Fox.
Do it again.
Okay. How do you think Israel's attack in Doha will affect the hostage deal?
Well, hopefully it won't affect it at all. We want the...
And shout out Misfits supervisor. Hey guys, make sure to follow her channel. She said, can't do much, but I'll try to drop at least $2. Hey, appreciate that, sis. And shout out.
hostages out. And we want them out soon. Hopefully it won't affect it.
Mr. President, my condolences to you, sir.
Thank you.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. and it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started, so it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best anywhere in the world, actually. Thank you very much.
Your message to young people.
I don't expect to. I would, but I don't.
And shout out to my man Monty for pretty much opening up the calling line and for dropping the baller alert. He said, "I got you, Misfit." And shout out to my man Monty. He said, "Don't worry, we got you." All right, let me go ahead and open that up for you guys.
Memory of Charlie?
Many favorite memories. He was just a great guy. I've never seen a person that was a little bit older get along so well with you. He got along with young people. I've never seen anything like it, and he really helped me a lot. I did very well, as you know, with young people, and he was a big factor.
Mr. President, are you going to go to Charlie Kirk's funeral, sir?
I will be.
You will. Do you know when that will be?
I believe it's in Arizona, and they've asked me to go, and I think I have an obligation to do.
Do you know when that will be?
I'm hearing I hear next weekend. Whenever it is, I'll be going. I'm hearing next weekend.
Are you frustrated that they have not caught the perpetrator yet?
Well, I hear they're making great strides, Maggie. I hear they're making great strides. You know, they have pictures and some other things, and they found the weapon, big factor. So they're very talented people. We'll see what happens. Certainly, we hope we can do it soon.
Do you have a reaction to the Brazilian Supreme Court convicted?
No president. Well, but I know him as a leader of a country, and I always found him to be very straight, very outstanding. Actually, as a man, a very outstanding man. I think it's a terrible thing, very terrible. I think it's very bad for Brazil.
You condemn Russia flying drones in Poland?
Well, I hear that what happened, as you know, where they were taken down and they went a little berserk. But regardless, yes, I would condemn. Even for being near that line, I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. That whole thing, I'm not happy about.
No, and it hasn't been confirmed 100%. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I've been looking. It hasn't been confirmed 100% that Russia has intentionally sent that drone over there to Poland. But, you know, Poland's kind of, you know, saying that they did, and Russia's pretty much saying, no, we didn't. And like I said, this all could be one crazy false flag to try to get Poland to help Ukraine. You know, if they can't get the United States to put boots on the ground, maybe they can get one of the NATO countries. Maybe.
If the Supreme Court says tariffs are unconstitutional, will the 550 investment agreement with Japan be canceled?
Well, we have a great case, and everyone thinks it's going to be very successful. It's a great case. I don't see how anybody could be successful on that.
All right, now let's go on to Trump's next speaking engagement. And I went ahead and posted in the call-in tab, guys, so you can go ahead and get in on the call-in if you want. And, well, like I said, it's the post tab, and if you donate at least $1, remember, go ahead and hit that link. All right, guys, let's get into the next video. And then after this one, we're going to go ahead and cover Candace and then close it out for the night. Well, until the 2 a.m. stream.
I don't know, but we're going to be going Saturday early on Sunday morning. Okay? Go ahead. Good. We had talks going on.
Oh, yeah, and shout out to Seth. She says, well, shit, it's been a year with y'all shits for a whole year now. I'm waiting for Milo. Bring on Mr. Milo. And shout out Steph. A whole year with Set Media. Appreciate that. I mean, you're a real one. You're a real one, Steph. Appreciate you, sis.
Scott Bessent is there and some others. Jameson is here. And yeah, I think they're going to find. We're going to see. But we've hit them very hard in so many other ways. I don't know if you know. Do you know what they're paying? Right now, what are they paying right now? You know what China's paying right now in tariffs? Huh?
30%.
Yeah, I know exactly what's happening. A lot of drugs are coming out of Venezuela. A lot of Nicaragua they're trying to get out, but we're stopping them successfully at the border in Venezuela. We have a tremendous amount of security. They send the Tren de Aragua, that's the gang.
Right now, Trump got all of Latin America in shock, or at least the cartels. After he blew up that boat of cartel members trying to transport drugs, yeah, it kind of got a lot of countries on notice, not just Venezuela. And a lot of people are complaining, not just Venezuela. And it kind of shows like, all right, well, who are you guys working for, really?
Probably the worst gang in the world, MS-13. I think they're probably considered worse. And we don't like what Venezuela is sending us, whether it's their drugs or whether it's their gang members. We don't like it. We don't like it one bit. Hold it. You want to move over here, fellas? Wouldn't it be easier for you? Go ahead. What was the look, we're with them. You know, they've been a great ally. A lot of people don't understand that about Qatar. But Qatar's been a great ally.
Mm-hmm.
They also lead a very difficult life because they're right in the middle of everything. So they have to be a little bit politically correct.
Well, I'm glad Trump is not condoning the bombing of Doha, because, like, come on now, we shouldn't be bombing an ally. And I've seen Mark Levin, he made a segment about Qatar, people are saying, well, look at all this stuff they did in the past, they deserve to get bombed. And I'm just like, bro, they're the whole reason we're even able to mediate with a lot of the countries that don't like us in the Middle East. I mean, there will be no communications without Qatar. I mean, they are a neutral ground. Can we respect that, or do we really just want tyranny in the Middle East instead of peace?
In their terms, but I will tell you, they've been a great ally for the United States, Qatar. Well, we'll see what happens. There's certainly not a lot of boats out there, I'll tell you, since the first strike, and then to a lesser extent the second. We don't see any, I mean, we almost see no boats out there, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. There's been very little boat traffic. I can't imagine why.
And just on that, do you think you will stop this strike on mainland Venezuela?
Oh, we'll see what happens. Look, Venezuela is sending us their gang members, their drug dealers, and drugs. It's not acceptable. We'll see what happens. Not an option or a not option. We'll see. He had an election that was wrong. It was almost as corrupt as our election of 2020. You know that? You know what I'm talking about? I wouldn't say theirs was much more corrupt, but it was certainly corrupt. But ours was corrupt also. I may or may not. They're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die, or we may, I don't know. It depends. Up to China. It doesn't matter too much. I'd like to do it for the kids. They like it. I mean, selfishly speaking, I did very well on TikTok, and I got the youth vote. I got numbers that nobody's ever even come close to in the Republican Party. Nobody. If you look back to Romney and all these people, they got practically no votes. I got a lot. And some was attributed to TikTok, and a lot was attributed to Charlie.
What is your message to Netanyahu about the strikes on Qatar?
Well, my message is this. They have to be very, very careful. They have to do something about Hamas. But Qatar has been a great ally to the United States. A lot of people don't know that. I told the Emir, who I think is a...
Oh, guys, let's make sure to double tap that screen and like the video. Let's get more people on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
Wonderful person, actually. I said, you need better public relations because you don't really get the public relations. I mean, people talk of it so badly, and they shouldn't be. Qatar's been a very great ally. So Israel and everybody else, we have to be careful. When we attack people, we have to be careful.
Organizations on the left, you anticipate investigating, we talked about this last week.
Well, the problem is on the left. If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right. The problem we have is on the left. And when you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left. That's not the right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll be announcing. They're already under investigation. You know, they're already under major investigation. A lot of the people that you would traditionally say are on the left.
They're already
under investigation.
Have you asked to start revoking the visa that flows have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death? Have you asked to start revoking the visas of the foreigners who have celebrated Charlie Kirk's death?
No, we haven't. We haven't, but we are looking at names. We don't like that. That's not right. We wouldn't celebrate if something happened to this, and we don't. These are sick people. These are really deranged people.
Any progress on the Fed chairman, sir?
Well, other than I don't like him. He's incompetent. The Fed chairman's incompetent. Sure, I have three people that I like a lot.
I mean, once again, the Fed chairman is proved to be once again too late and always waiting for a, well, not really a doomsday scenario, but a bad economic outturn to fix the rate. I mean, he did it under Biden and he's doing it under Trump. I mean, thank God we can get him out of here next year.
Any one of them would do a good job.
One more on Venezuela.
But I think you have a big cut. Because I don't think he can help with cutting. It's perfect for cutting. And the thing that he's hurting most is housing for people. But because we're doing well in everything, energy's way down, groceries are down, everything, almost everything is way down. But housing, because of the Fed, is not what it should be. Okay, but it's not what it should be.
I'm sorry.
What about it? Nothing. The trip to UK is going to be incredible. They've never done it before, twice honored. And that's because we had non-consecutive terms. You know that. You probably know that. But back in the days of Grover Cleveland, I don't think they did this too easily. So we'll see. But this is the first time it's ever happened. And Windsor is supposed to be amazing. They've never used Windsor. They've never had Windsor for this. And they're going to be doing Windsor Castle. It's going to be very exciting. I think a lot of you are going with me. Are you going with us? Huh? Are you going with us, Maggie? Good.
Just one more on Venezuela. The president of Venezuela called the strike on the boat illegal. Are you concerned that Maduro might escalate something?
No, what's illegal are the drugs that were on the boat and the drugs that are being sent into our country.
Here's a problem. Us trying to stop the cartel from moving drugs is apparently causing tension with Venezuela. And one of the main reasons is because we kind of did a naval blockage pretty much through the Caribbean Sea. So that kind of pissed, our guy, what's his name? Maduro. Yes, his name Maduro. That kind of pissed him off. And he's now threatening to arm 1.4 million Venezuelans. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's not going to help you. I mean, like I said, when it comes to the American army, that's not going to help you. If you're not a superpower, you're really not a threat. And you should just roll over. You're lucky we're playing civil with you. We're just trying to cut off your financial support, which is through the cartel. And I wonder what you're going to do after that. I really do. I'm curious. And shout out to my man Zoloff. Man, he said, member for 10 months, bro. Shout out. Hey, shout out Zoloff. He says, go Trump, man. Go USA.
And the fact that 300 million people died last year from drugs, that's what's illegal.
Do you think he's not telling the truth when he said it was a fisherman's boat? Do you think that he's
there. You could see it. You saw the.
And shout out to Acid Burn. He said, word? Well, shoot. Word. Word, my friend. Word. These are facts.
Bags of white everything, right through the bags. It's nonsense. So we knew it before they even left. We knew it before they even left. We knew exactly where that boat, where it came from, where the drugs came from, and where it was heading. I mean, the problem is nobody's getting on boats anymore, so maybe that's a good problem.
Do you expect NATO to issue sanctions against Russia as they have to do it?
Well, they're not doing the job. NATO has to get together. Europe has to get together and do it. Look, Europe they're my friends, but they're buying oil from Russia. So we can't be expected to be the only ones that are, full bore.
Okay.
Europe is buying oil from Russia. I don't want them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not.
I mean, yeah, you can't be complaining about how Russia y'all worst enemy, but you're buying oil from them on the daily. I mean, how does that work? How does that work, guys? And here's the thing. We're actually trying to penalize India for doing the same thing that Europe's doing. So India was right in calling Trump a hypocrite because he's like, yo, why are you punishing us when Europe's able to do it? I mean, China's able to do it. I mean, well, China's already going through their own punishments with us, so you can't even say they went unpunished. But you're right. They are right. We did let Europe just kind of scapegoat off. We kind of just focused on India. Why? Probably because they were probably buying the most and, plus weapons, oil plus weapons, India. I mean, come on now. Come on. That is pretty guilty. You kind of are perpetuating it.
Toughen up. And I'm willing to do sanctions, but they're going to have to toughen up their sanctions commensurate with what I'm doing.
Just to clarify, you wouldn't move ahead until NATO moves ahead.
Well, I'm ready to move ahead, but they have to do it. I think they will. But right now they're talking and they're not doing it. Look, they're buying oil from Russia. We're not buying oil from Russia. They're buying a lot of oil from Russia. That's not the deal.
Sir, on Putin, 2 weeks ago you told us that you would decide who was more to blame for the impact of the talks, whether it's Ukraine or whether it's Russia. How are you feeling right now?
But when you say impact of what?
The impact. Sorry, but nothing happened.
The impasse? It's not going to matter because when they go in, they're going to be very, very strong. So it's not going to matter. Maggie, go ahead.
Mr. President, European nations can still buy, some of them buy natural gas from Russia. Would you like to see that pulled back as well?
That's not the deal, though. The deal is they're not, whether it's natural gas or whether it's cigarettes, I don't care. They're not supposed to be buying from Russia. We're spending a lot of money giving. Now, I will say this.
I know it's crazy how Europe wants us to go ahead and fight the people that they're kind of supplying wealth to. Like it's hilarious.
Right now, we're just selling weapons to NATO. It's pretty amazing. Biden spent $350 billion. I'm spending nothing. In fact, we're making money. But I want to stop the killing. So it just came out, or I think it came out, but I know for a fact, almost 8,000 young soldiers died this week between the two countries. A little bit more from Russia, but divided. When you're the aggressor, you lose more. I don't know if you know that, but in war, when you're the aggressor, you tend to lose more. But it was a little bit more for Russia, but it was 8,000, a little bit more than 8,017 actually, died this week in that war. Why? And they're Russians. They're not American soldiers, but they're still human beings. They're souls. And I want to stop them. And I stopped 7 wars. I thought this was going to be an easy one for me, but this has turned out to be tough. The hatred between Zelensky and Putin is unfathomable. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to do all the talking. They hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, when hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost on both sides and they both see each other as a cause of that, yeah, it's going to be really hard to get them to talk, civilly. Like getting them to talk civilly is like a pipe dream. Like at this point, it does kind of seem like we're just kind of letting them fight it out, but we're pretending for diplomacy. Because I don't see how we're going to stop Russia. I really don't. I don't think we have the cards to, because Russia didn't give us the cards to. Well, not Russia, but Ukraine didn't give us the cards to. If Ukraine was whooping Russia's ass on the battlefield, then we'd be able to tell Russia what to do. But since they're not, they haven't been able to take back that 20% land. And it does seem like Russia is advancing their lines. And, Russia just exposed one of our NGOs for actually supplying Ukraine with a vehicle. Yeah, it's pretty tough out there for us. Huh?
Great.
Yeah, I know it's tough, bro. And the NGO is such an hilarious thing. It was an NAFO, right? It was the North Atlantic Fellow Organization. It is an internet meme and social media movement. Yeah, internet meme and social media movement dedicated to countering Russia propaganda and disinformation about the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. And they gave these guys a military card that the Russian military exposed. I was like, wow.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't know, relatively soon. We're going to get it worked out one way or the other, but relatively soon. They hate each other so much, they can't breathe. So I'm going to have to get involved.
Has any of the NATO members responded to the letter you sent yesterday?
Yeah. They know it's true. They don't want to deny it. They said, well, I'd rather not talk about it. I said, what do you mean you'd rather not? That means you're guilty, right? Yeah, no, they agree. I mean, look, they're buying oil. And they're buying it through a couple of countries that are selling it. So they're not buying it directly. Countries are buying oil from Russia and selling it into certain NATO countries. Not all, but certain very substantial NATO countries. That's not the deal. Okay?
Yeah, some very shady business is going down when it comes to, I guess, purchasing their energy supply. That's some very shady business. It's like, it's not everybody in Europe, but there is some shady countries who just, go behind everybody's back, buy the oil for them to supply to everybody else. And then, all the other European countries can be like, what you mean? We don't do it. It's not us. It's okay. Okay, guys.
We all set?
The jig is up.
We all set?
Sorry, last one. Just to clarify that, do you anticipate the next step with the Ukraine folks to be a summit, like a trilateral summit?
There'll be talks, whether you call it a summit or just a get together. It doesn't matter. But I'll probably have to they hate each other so much they almost can't talk. They're incapable of talking to each other. Thank you.
Mr. President, will the First Lady accompany you to Charlie Kirk's memorial next week?
I didn't ask her that, but a lot of people are. But we're going to Europe
To the UK.
before, so we're going to be doing that. Okay. I haven't even.
All right, man. Now let's get to the wild video of the night. And once again, RIP to Charlie Kirk. RIP. I mean, praying for his family and all that good stuff. Well, man. But all right, let's get into the most wildest conspiracy theory I've heard that's starting to have some validity to
Is it Israel?
Yeah.
So help me God if it's Israel. Oh my God.
No, it was Israel. It's every single. I'm just playing. Nah, I'm just playing. But let's get into it and let's see what Candace got to say.
Wait, is it really Israel?
Bro, but just wait on it, Monty, because
I haven't seen this yet. Oh my goodness.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, you guys, we're going to jump right into this with no introduction. There's a lot that I would like to speak with you guys about. Can't wait to hear your feedback. A lot of lies that are being put out there, narratives that I would say are half truths or just misrepresentations entirely. And I don't really see the reason for that. First and foremost, to let you know, last week was not a dream. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. And he was publicly executed. I want to make that clear. Charlie Kirk was publicly executed before the world. And as we were all searching for
which is very true. And shout out Acid Burn. He says, is Comet 3i Atlas traveling 211,000 miles per second, an alien spaceship? It's very high energy. I have heard about that, and because I am a space nerd.
What?
Yeah,
what?
I know. You
Hold on.
heard about it? Look it up.
Comet 3 Atlas.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Because it's like moving trajectories or whatever.
Yep. But we'll get into that on Conspiracy Hour. Let's keep it going.
Answers, the ones that are being supplied to us, are not making a lot of sense. And some people, I would say, are speaking too much, are speaking on behalf of other people. I don't like it. I will say something that I think brought the world a lot of relief, also, sadness. We were grieving with her, was when his wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk, addressed not just the nation, but the entire world. Her words were very powerful. And we just have a very brief portion of her remarks, which you should pursue in their entirety. But here she is.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife.
Mm-hmm.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
I swear.
Beautiful, powerful
I don't like watching
words.
women cry.
Charlie had just one wife. What we got to see across this weekend is that there were so many people around the world, like she said, who were deeply moved by Charlie Kirk throughout their lives, and of course have been deeply moved by this tragedy. And what she is describing there, that fire, a lot of us are feeling it. I am definitely feeling it. I had a very tough weekend, I will say this. My entire life, I've not been much of a crier. It is not my choice emotion. I'm not a person who bursts into tears, and some people are like that. This weekend, I didn't just cry. I wept. I wept for Charlie. Obviously, I didn't make it through the tribute to him on Friday. And for those of you who wanted to see me in a moment of weakness, that was delivered to you. Fair. Yeah, I watched my friend get shot in the neck. Yeah, that's what happened. I just want to say that he was publicly executed again before the world. The question is why, right? When you are in a state of grief, you go through a lot of emotions, and I'm arriving right now at a lot of anger, the audacity of some people. It has taken much restraint and prayer, and I had to speak with a priest I had to go to confession.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't like scorch the earth on the entire left wing
Right.
Yeah,
media.
like I have like kind of grown away from Candace because of some of the positions she held. But
Right.
when I saw her upset and crying, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right.
These emotions that I am having, wanting to respond with Charlie in his own words, really. People that are coming forward and saying this is what he thought and this is how he should be remembered. It just feels really inappropriate to me. I didn't know what to do other than to scroll through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them. And kept going back and watching the many videos of us dancing to the song Power. And it felt appropriate to reach out to Ye, speaking about things, talking about his mode when he wrote the song. You know, when you wrote the song Power, why did we have it as our hype song? Because the song is about the ability to find it within yourself to become what you know you are capable of becoming inside of a matrix, when you just realize everything is dishonest, that everything is performative, that people are dishonest, that they are going to try to stop you from being great. In fact, it's the end of the song, the question that he asks at the end of the song, that's the most important. Ye asks, do you have the power to let power go? Do you have the power to say no to power? You know, I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful, to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry. And I found, Charlie's favorite portion of the song. I'll show you the text between him and I, because this feels very relevant right now. This is, again, lyrics directly from the song Power, but I just needed time alone with my own thoughts, got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me. Taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities that they entrusted me. That's a moment where he is really speaking about how hard it is. Like when you're saying, no, this is what I believe. And they say, you're not allowed to believe that. You feel like you are fighting for custody of yourself. And I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And there are lies that are being told and they need to be slapped down right now. There's one person who's been out there acting like he is a widow, you know, just saying the absolute most, tweeting first about what happened to Charlie, following it minute to minute, you know, and doing hits in a foreign country, right? Like making time to do hits on Fox News, 2 of them. Bibi Netanyahu who's fighting, I think, like an 84 front war with everyone, made a lot of time for Charlie Kirk. You would have thought they were the best of friends, as close as him and Trump were. But I will say
I mean, that man, Bibi done bombed almost every country in the Middle East within this year. It's crazy.
Recall Erica mentioning Bibi Netanyahu in her speech. The way he's presenting it is like he was I mean, this is just the worst loss for him, but I don't think that is the truth.
Would he have had a chance to meet Charlie with the times that he was at the White House?
Nah, not really. Because like when he came through, to be honest, he's a real pompous ass, and so is his wife.
Yeah.
So they would like want like the royal treatment. So you know, just not. Yeah. So when Bibi came through, only important people.
Right.
Or those who wanted to spread the propaganda, allegedly.
Right.
All right.
That happened there towards the end. So let's at first listen to what Bibi Netanyahu, just one day, less than 24 hours after Charlie died, what Bibi Netanyahu had to say on Fox News. Take a listen.
We're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son actually, and his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings because a great human being has been taken from us.
Pause.
Was an
Pause.
extraordinary.
Yo.
Hold on. Do you see Virginia McCabe?
Nah.
Go up there.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, these are the black people that don't cry for the black people that get murdered every night. Bro, bro, shut the hell up. All right, shut the hell up. Because, like, dog, I was literally going off on that for about 2 weeks straight about how Trump needs to bring the National Guard in Chicago to stop all this black on black violence. Like, I literally played a video 4 minutes straight of nothing but black on black violence and talk about how horrible it was. Shut the hell up.
You know why? Because even though it was a white on white crime, they got to bring race into it somehow.
It has to. It somehow has to have race, and this is why we laugh at you. I don't even get mad anymore. Now I just laugh. It's like you're fucking ridiculous. But continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Friend, he said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And, this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives, they often
what does this have to do with Charlie Kirk?
They speak about free speech, but they use.
Like, bro, why do you gotta spin the propaganda every time? Like, what did the Islamists gotta do about it?
It's like, yeah, Charlie Kirk died. He was killed by a white guy. He wasn't killed by an Islamist.
And you know the worst part about it is, like, I actually was hearing that type of rhetoric. Like, what was it? Maybe like hours after the assassination. Everybody thought, I bet it was an Islamist. I bet it was an Islamist. I'm like, what's wrong with you guys?
I never thought that ever.
No, I knew it was. I would not have been surprised if they would have had pink hair.
Man, like, look, man. Let me know when Tony Robinson gets assassinated. Which, God forbid. But when that happens, then we can talk about Islam.
No. I don't. I am one that personally does not want to see him get the death penalty or get assassinated. I want him to spend the rest of his life getting just views, or like people sending him videos of the message that he tried to snuff out growing and getting bigger. That's how I feel about it. But
all right,
violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they try to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Who is they, BB? Who is they who got Charlie Kirk? We don't have to actually speak conspiracies. I'm just wondering, because you said a lot there, but it really sounded like it was about BB trying to establish a narrative that we saw reinforced by a lot of people. That Charlie kind of made it almost sound like he died for Israel. I mean, Trump's account even tweeted out a photo of Charlie and an American flag and also an Israeli flag, a bit of AI used, like this is just who Charlie was. He says Judeo-Christian values. He spoke to him 2 weeks ago. Again, you would think he was busy fighting this 97,000 front war, but no, he's letting you know that he just randomly picks up the phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel. Why would BB do that? It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
And pause.
Now,
What's up?
I've kind of struggled with how I feel about the Israel and Hamas situation and Israel and fighting all these different wars. I can 100% officially say now that Israel as a state deserves to live, but I hope Bibi fucking rots in hell.
Literally. Because he's doing too much. And he's straining the resources of his people. But I mean, hey, when you got the American government to rely on, I guess.
Well, that's what it feels like he's pushing on this Charlie thing.
He's
like
pushing propaganda on his death.
Yeah, and he's just another person trying to use Charlie's death for his benefit. That's all he's trying to do.
That's why he was talking about the Islamists, which is wild. But
it has nothing to do with Charlie. Yeah.
Regarding that phone call and that invite, that also needs to be contextualized. And I'm going to do that. But first, Skylar, can we bring in a clip of Charlie from a month ago speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under? Because I think that will also help to further contextualize this. Take a listen.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But like some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair.
you,
they were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was over.
No, they were mad because Dave Smith cooked, bro. And here's the problem. Charlie Kirk brought somebody that Dave Smith already defeated in a debate, like soundly. And all Dave Smith did was just redid what he did in a whole nother platform, a much smaller platform. But for it to be on TPUSA, yeah, they had a huge problem with Charlie Kirk doing that. Huge problem.
Allowed to, though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go. I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white. Okay. And you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying.
I mean, damn, Charlie just say, yeah, there's Israelis out there pretty much making death threats to me just because I had David Smith on. There you go.
Trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb, and he was under an increasing amount of pressure. Not just people telling him. Oh.
I haven't seen that clip either, but like I said, just like Monty, I've kind of fell away from Charlie Kirk's content for a little bit, and I tune in every now and then, so I don't catch every one of his live or every one of his podcast episodes.
Oh
Oh, nothing.
I'm upset.
Well, he's busy. He's constantly got new content coming out,
telling him that he was
sides.
not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen. And that amount of pressure towards the end, as you see that conversation he had with Meghan was just a month before he lost his life, really, I would say, reached a pinnacle of sorts on the matter of what Tucker Carlson actually said on that stage. Tucker Carlson, while he was on that stage at Turning Point, brought up Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is a billionaire. Obviously, he is also an extremely litigious billionaire. And Bill Ackman was on Charlie about comments that Tucker Carlson had made on that stage. Tucker Carlson's
Bill Ackman, American hedge fund manager. He's 59 years old, born May 11th, 19. Oh wow, he's a Taurus like me. But net worth $9.3 billion. Yeah.
Specifically asked the question, where does Bill Ackman's money come from? You know, who is this guy? Actually, who is this guy that has this much influence? And like I said, Bill Ackman was not happy about this. And so I would like to contextualize Bibi. Again, these are things Bibi brought up publicly, which he didn't have to. He didn't have to bring up the letter. He didn't have to bring up the phone call, but he chose to do this less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. Personally, Bibi, I would have appreciated if you guys used all of your spyware, you've been spying on us for years, to maybe track down the killer. But I guess this is where you thought it was best to do a little propaganda for Israel.
So he's CEO at Pershing Square Capital Management. It is an American hedge fund based in New York City. It specializes in activist investments using influence over company management through purchasing shares and by exerting pressure on management. I mean, way to be straightforward.
Be better than us helping us track down the killer. But anyway, so Bibi Netanyahu in that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. That is what I am told. And I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel.
Now, the reason why she's kind of connecting Bill Ackman in this is because, well, like I said, one, he does have heavy influence in Turning Point USA, you know, hedge fund manager, and he does have somewhat of allegiance to Israel. I mean, and he's Ashkenazi Jew, but Jewish, but that doesn't really, you know, mean that he's just part of this Israel conspiracy that's going around. It doesn't solidify it.
Well, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I got to tell you that. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment, a ton of money. Bibi would fund it, you know, spend tons of money And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding, that Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, re-education camp. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. We just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bibi. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid. Okay. There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon, I was going to go to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting. And Seth Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. But my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding. Okay. This is
Seth Dillon pretty much was pretty much seen as an entrepreneur and CEO at the Babylonian Bee. Is pretty much what I got on right now.
Me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweets because, he tweeted, "I feel incredibly privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man." I said, "Any comment on this one, Seth?" He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, "Need a comment ASAP, please." He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, "Trying again here. You were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel and Charlie refused." Text messages immediately following this meeting are circulating. I find Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week, who were at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel.
Well, yo.
Again, in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up, to tell us what really happened. Because, I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step. Okay. You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. And he says, ha ha. He was speaking about Mary. And typically when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian. Again, it is mystifying why, Bibi was out there doing the absolute most to make sure that Charlie was basically remembered as, I would argue, like a Jew. has not been yet mentioned. I didn't hear that. Erica was very clear that Charlie was a Christian, and I believe Charlie obviously was very much a Christian, and that things are not being told truthfully. In fact, I will also call upon, since we're having fun, Turning Point USA to release the audio of what Charlie Kirk, because I was in communication with Charlie at this time, because I knew exactly which donors were pressuring him and why, exactly which people that they were insisting Charlie allowed to speak at his event and why, when Charlie did not necessarily want those people to speak at his event. Okay. I'm calling upon Turning Point to release the footage of what Charlie said to Tucker Carlson before he hit the stage, before, all of that craziness and the response to Tucker Carlson's remarks played out. Charlie was mic'd. Surely Tucker Carlson was mic'd. I know Charlie's mic'd the entire time at those events. So I'm asking for everyone to just release Charlie in his own words. I feel like that's pretty fair, right? Let's stop saying how Charlie felt. And instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety. Okay. Why don't you release your messages, Bill? I'll release mine. Let's all just be very forthcoming about what took place. In fact, I'm calling upon Tucker Carlson to speak about that. I know what Charlie said to him, and I'm sure Tucker Carlson won't lie about it. What did Charlie say to you? Dave Smith, what did Charlie say to you? What was Charlie? Did he seem like he was treading in a direction? Like, do we feel like what BB is saying is honest, a representation of what Charlie was going through? This is what I want. I think that the thing that we need here, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Now, does all of this mean that Bibi Netanyahu and that this somehow proves that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? No, we have no evidence of that. We can't say that because there is no evidence of that. But I don't like little lies. That's what I will say. Something that I always say in my household is when there is one lie, there's 20. There's no reason to lie. Bibi could have gone on Fox News and he could have told the truth. He could have said truthfully that Charlie Kirk has always loved Israel. He has always loved Israel as the Holy Land. He's been here many times. And throughout his career, he has been a faithful supporter of Israel. That's not what he said. Okay. He talks about the phone call and didn't give it the proper context. He held up the letter and didn't give it the proper context. And lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. Lies by severe omission are lies. You're not going to gaslight us and tell us to shut up or call us anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that Charlie was having a change of heart about the tactics that Israel was using in America, and that he felt when he had left that meeting that he had effectively been blackmailed. Again, my platform is yours, Seth Dillon. My platform is yours, Bill Ackman. So if you want to clarify it, we can do it in front of millions, okay? And I think that that's what people deserve, because everyone has PTSD. We watched Charlie get shot in the throat. That feels a little bit symbolic. It feels like they wanted us to know that his voice was problematic. Again, I don't know who they is.
And pause.
This brief break. We're going to go through the
They didn't shoot him in his throat. He was going for a headshot and he missed. He was either that or he was going for a chest shot and he missed. No one aims for the throat, and to put that like it's not, that's not how that works. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, he could have done it for that reason, but it is a stretch. It is a reach to say a definitive.
Yeah, she's reaching. Yeah. She's upset and she hates Israel and she hates Bibi, rightfully so. Like, what she's saying has merit and has truth to it. But now we get into the part where she stretches everything and tries to come to crazy conclusions.
Right. The whole thing, though, with him being shot where he was, basically, in the neck, where his voice comes from, and that was his most powerful aspect. It does ring very hard with symbolism. I mean, you can't deny that. But it's
I don't think it was an intentional thing. I think he was trying. Yeah.
Even for a sniper, they are never, ever, ever trained to shoot somebody in the neck.
From 200 yards, the difference between the head, the neck, and the heart is a fucking breath. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, yeah.
But I say that because it happened in his neck, it puts a lot of symbolism on it. You know, that's where the bullet
Absolutely.
landed. Yeah.
Well, I think that's where it comes in, where God works in mysterious ways. Like,
Yeah.
think about it.
Yes.
It fully pulled into grasp why that man was taken away, because of he had a
Yeah.
gift to
So it
speak
could
and
have
to,
been,
debate people.
I mean, hey, so it could have been a message from God or a message from, well, the
How else are
assassin.
you going to turn a terrible thing into something with a message?
And that's crazy. Is that the fact that you say that? So like no one ever anytime anybody's thinking about shooting or shooting a person or shooting a target, the
Mhm.
neck is not worth extra points. It's the head or the chest. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I think it was like you said, I think someone was he was aiming for something,
Yep.
and because he missed is the symbolism. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I'm not a super religious person, but
Neither am
I
I,
can
but
I can
it's pretty.
foresee something like that. You know, oh, you want to make this message and shoot him in the head? Yeah, you're gonna hit him in the neck. He's still
Yeah.
gone, but now you just made that symbolism. You
The
made it so
message
that
was amplified.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Investigation, which seems to have a lot of inconsistencies and holes in it. And we're definitely not yet at the bottom of what in fact took place. But I do know that I severely distrust people who rush to misrepresent things. And it's not a good sign when somebody has to ask you, as Greta Van Susteren asked Bibi Netanyahu in his secondary hit regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's not a good sign if somebody even has to ask if you did have anything to do with the assassination. Doesn't make you a great person, okay? And that's what she asked him. Take a listen.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a
It is a
statement.
stretch.
It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing is, it's not only
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
It's I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying this. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this, but they go. They have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin. We're spreading disease. And people believed it. And every time they believed it, this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust.
Well, he's mentioned the Holocaust. Guess we can't prod the narrative any further, guys. Holocaust. So everybody just stop talking about.
Hold on. Because now the chat's going wild because apparently I'm a sniper. No, it's just an understanding of
People are
windage
trying to say that.
elevation from an elevated position. Like I respect that you've taught 10,000 people how to shoot a gun. You would agree with me that a 22-year-old, no matter how much training they have, even a trained sniper, no matter how much training they have, they can make mistakes. They can make things like because all right,
But don't you
if you
think it
want
was,
to,
hold on, Monty, but don't you think it was close enough to where he probably could have placed the bullet wherever he wanted? People are saying like 200 yards or so.
200 yards. 200
With a
yards
good
is
scope is not far at all.
What's that?
With a good scope, 200 yards is not far at all.
No, not far at all. I mean, but here's the thing: is that scope zeroed,
Most
or sorry, not
likely.
zeroed, zeroed well enough at 200 yards that there's no mistakes? Like, you need a
I mean, he
professional
had a
to zero that.
while. He was think about it. They said he was planning this for a while.
That's
So he
true, and
probably was out there test shooting it, or most likely.
I mean, everything obviously I'm saying is an assumption. I'm also putting in a likely scenario that he missed his shot and still completed his mission. Like,
Right.
it's not a stretch. It's not jumping through mental gymnastics to get to that point. It's people can miss shots. He took one shot. That's it. There was no follow-up shots. The Kennedy assassination had follow-up shots. The Trump assassination had follow-up shots. He took one shot, got the result that he wanted, and ran. Like, I like the the idea that it's plausible that he missed by a couple of inches at 200 yards is not crazy.
I mean, that is well, all right. Well, we're not saying that's crazy, but people are trying to say that, well, you're acting like, you couldn't have pinpointed it, but who knows?
That's like the people that say that Trump's assassination was staged because the assassin pinpointed Trump's ear. But
Which
like
is
that's the
also
same
wild.
kind of argument. Like, you don't understand how bullet trajectory works. Like, he understands nothing about windage or not windage, but wind in that equation. He's not up there with a fucking barometer and measuring the curvature of the earth to make a perfect shot placed exactly lateral to the neck, superior to the clavicle. Like, no, he put his silhouette in his crosshairs and pulled the trigger, got what he wanted, and ran. Like,
but all right.
That's
all right, guys, let's keep it going. He said he didn't measure the earth's curvature to make a shot, guys. Like, come on now.
Anything. I mean, hey, he's the victim. It's absurd. It's just absurd. The Holocaust happened. You heard him. We're sick of this shit. Damn. We really are. And there will be no narrative that I will not prod when it comes to figuring out why people are lying about the state that Charlie was in when it came to the topic of Israel. Again, you can examine Charlie in his own words. He was starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written. That pressure was increasing every single day. In fact, he was telling the truth even about Jeffrey Epstein. Take a listen.
Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket, the kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
Well, out of all people.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean,
it seems to come.
I ain't gonna lie, my jaw would have dropped if I'd have heard that live. I'd have been like, "Are you? Who am I listening to? This can't be Charlie." This can't be Charlie, bro. This is defender of Israel. Israel could do no wrong guy. Like, who am I listening to? Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to believe it. I'm actually happy he was turning in the right direction.
Conflict with Bibi's narrative a little bit, yeah, just a tiny bit. I do want to say this. It's important because I am angry. I will obviously, I pray to move on from this phase, but it's a fire in my belly right now. To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay, kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay. And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text.
Oh, we know, Candace. We've seen what you did with Brigitte Macron, and we know.
Message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now. Don't do it. Okay. Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair. Okay. Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. Now, we'll take a pause. We're going to go to some sponsors, and then we're going to get into what we are being told by the agencies. There are definitely some holes. Maybe more is coming out. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this. Every heartbeat tells a story. Code Candace. Okay. Let's get into what we know about the Charlie Kirk assassination thus far in terms of what the authorities are telling us. First, I just want to toss it to Michael Savage because the energy of this, what Michael Savage had to say about everything that we're hearing is pretty much all of us right now. Take a listen.
The so-called FBI, something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality.
What?
And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods.
All right, hold on. Let's go back to that. That assumption. Because,
so no, hold on, because we got to
gun guys like you and Dave.
Yeah, he's talking about indexing it. He didn't break the gun down in his backpack. He brought the backpack so he can break the gun down after he shot it so he could jump off the building without the gun in his pockets. Remember that video of him limping, quote unquote, when he was going to the shooting? That's because he had it stuffed down his pant leg. Like he had the whole weapon stuffed down his pant leg. It's not very wide that it couldn't take the same profile as your thigh. And that's why his knees were barely bending, and that's why it looked like he had jumped off of a building before he jumped off of a building. Then after he jumped off the building, I think this is the scenario anyway. Or before he jumped off the building, he broke the weapon down to put pieces of it in his backpack and down his pant leg, so he wasn't walking with the gun after he just shot somebody.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hear the full explanation, and let's see how people feel about this gun breakdown.
I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go.
You're not risking anything, dude.
this FBI, the MAGA FBI, something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it.
So the whole premise, hold on. The whole premise of what he's saying is not what they said he did. So I don't know the whole theory behind him jumping off the building with the gun, right? If this is what they said, that he removed the stock and removed the barrel, completely possible to do quickly. And if you guys are all claiming that he's this fucking expert marksman that you say he is, I'm sure he knows his way around the gun that he's trying to assassinate somebody with. So with that being said, he also texted people to go retrieve the rifle from the woods. So, and you notice how when he jumps off the building, he kind of casually walks away. He's not running. He's not like bolting like he just ran away from a crime. He's being cordial, and he's walking. He's not running like a guy that's afraid he's going to get caught, because he thinks in his world that no one is going to catch up to him. There's very little security there.
There's because they do cover that as well. Why he was so casually walking off? Because maybe
because he doesn't want to attract suspicion. Someone just got shot.
Honestly, maybe he knew that he also had a decoy. All right, let's get into that part.
Do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening.
Sickening is definitely the right adjective, I think, to describe how a lot of us are feeling. And all I know how to do is to gather information, to research, and to investigate. And nothing is making sense. Now, it could not be making sense because we've not arrived at the conclusion. The FBI, I will say, has recently come out and said they're looking for another person. Good, because what we have so far obviously cannot be it. I feel, I was insisting that everybody read that book, Chaos, about the Charles Manson murders. And what we learn from that book is that if the government does want to hide something, what they do is they give you so much information that you can't you don't even know what's real. So many different possible ways that things could have gone down, so many different manners, so many people speaking.
You mean like everybody's doing right now?
And it's just meant to be chaotic, to drive you crazy, and to just go, okay, I'm just going to accept whenever the authority says something and not prod any further. We can't allow that to happen here. I won't allow that to happen here, because this something terrible has traumatized the world, okay? And I feel as though when it comes to this, the media, the government, the talking heads, everyone is confusing us about what actually took place.
No one's confusing us, woman. You're the only one that's a voice of dissent.
I even would like to know who picked the venue, okay? Here is what we know thus far, and I will tell you who the exact source is and what video they presented. So the first bit of proof regarding that day happened at 8:07 a.m. According to TMZ, they have footage, and we're going to show you it, which shows a man at 8:07 a.m., so hours before the shooting, wearing a maroon t-shirt and light shorts, as you were seeing on your screen right now, hands in his pockets, that is just walking outside of university grounds, okay? Now, Governor Cox tells us at 8:29, which is an interesting timeline, Governor Cox tells us that that is when the shooter, Tyler Robinson, arrived at UVU campus in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, and a black hat with a white logo. So essentially he's saying that what that person we saw walking down the street right there arrived on campus at 8:29. I'm going to allow you hear Governor Cox say that himself. Take a listen.
Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light colored shoes.
So what's interesting, already confusing to me, is that TMZ shows him already walking. We're supposed to believe he walked, parked his car, and then walked onto campus. They're saying that after that video that you just saw of him walking, he got into his car and then drove to campus. And then at 8:29 p.m. on campus is when he arrives. Already confusing, but let's just keep going. We don't need to poke holes. Let's just
there's no holes to poke.
And we're back to TMZ, and they release that at 11:49 a.m. they have footage of the shooter who has now changed his outfit. We're supposed to gather that again on a doorbell cam, and he's in a different outfit. So this is 11:49 a.m. Charlie Kirk has not yet been shot. Take a look at this. Okay, and for those of you that are listening to this on audio, you are going to see someone who appears to be limping. Okay, so maybe he changed his outfit at some point and now he's limping. And the idea that we're seeing floated is that he's limping because he's holding the gun in his pants. Okay,
his arms aren't
That's
swinging.
kind of what's been floated. Okay, that's
No,
not particularly come from the feds.
Yo, what's up?
His arms aren't swinging. He's carrying something, or he's stabilizing something. That is a completely logical. Like, why is she trying to poke holes in this?
No, wait. That's what she's saying.
Well, she's saying. Oh, like
yeah.
It seemed kind of facetious when she said it. No need to poke holes in that.
Oh no, yeah, for sure. No, she's actually saying, yeah, like why is like obviously you can see that he's holding something and his arm's just not freely swinging about like you, but yeah, like you're saying.
I don't believe so, but he's limping now and he's got on a different outfit. Okay. 11:52 a.m. And we were actually going to check this, by the way, but I think that we had the FBI say that was when he arrived on campus. Maybe that's not accurate. So let me just skip off of that because Skylar, we should actually look to research that. But at 12:23 p.m. is when Charlie Kirk is shot. Okay. And 12:23 p.m. is when in that same minute is when we have footage that shows us that as the crowd ducks and it's blurry, the shooter runs across the rooftop. I'm going to tell you why that's significant. So 12:23, Charlie Kirk is shot, and we are going to have an angle of that and the image of the black person in black, rather, that is running across the rooftop. Take a look at this. They're down, clearly. And right away, look at that, okay? And we have another, so the footage shows us, there's another actually clip that I was looking for, Skylar, there, that it actually shows him running across the rooftop. You guys may have seen it. The reason why that footage is problematic, as you start to see them ducking and then you see the shooter immediately start moving across the rooftop, is that their narrative is that he disassembled the gun and then started running. So that's a bit confusing to us of how he was able to do that so quickly. An unbelievable amount of hunters, guns, people that reached out to me and said, that just didn't happen. They have exactly as Michael said, that did not happen. There is no way that happened. That cannot be accurate. Then, and this is obviously the craziest part of everything, we have Decoy Boy, right? So it happens and suddenly this guy, George Zinn, gets arrested. He's making noise. He's signaling that he's somehow shot the guy. And at 12:52, it gets announced that the suspect is in custody. So nobody needs to look around anymore because this suspect is in custody. But actually, I guess George Zinn just does that. He just does that, I guess, like just wants people to think he's done something but he hasn't actually done anything. That, again, to me feels like he's a decoy. Like more people are involved in this. And I will say that we don't know, but we know that something's wrong with this. Then at 12:29 p.m., we have TMZ showing us that there's a person running through the backyard. They are saying this appears to be the suspect running. Okay, now we're going to show you that clip. It is very grainy. So they're alleging that that's him. We couldn't confirm that, and the feds have not confirmed that. But it does show you that someone's running across the back. Again, that's at 12:29 p.m. I don't know. We don't know. I'll give you some other facts that you should probably know just in general that that has been thus far confirmed. The weapon, they say, was found in the woods and it was wrapped by a dark towel. Okay, now, when they gave us a photo of that weapon, it was fully assembled. So this is kind of what Michael Savage is saying. He's saying, okay, so then they reassembled it, or maybe the feds did. Maybe they're going to clarify that they reassembled it for a photograph. But we are told that it was found wrapped in a dark towel. Then we have been told that a screwdriver was found on the roof. So they're sticking to this implication that he perhaps undid this gun while he was on the rooftop, and he, wanted to make sure he unscrewed it with the screwdriver, left the screwdriver behind, but took the gun, but then left the gun in the woods. Okay. Then we get, and this has not been contextualized, and I can't wait until it is contextualized, we get photos that are the shooter. This is when the FBI came out and said he's in a stairwell. We don't know exactly where that stairwell is. He's in outfit number 2. So the outfit change has happened. Okay. There's no timeline again, but we can discern that there is no weapon that is in his pant leg, because we can see him bending one leg in one photo and we can see him bending the other leg in another photo. So we're unclear about this. What is clear is that there is a ton of cameras on this campus. There is a lot of footage that they could release to make the public feel better about this. I mean, tons of different angles. I don't know why we're getting grainy shots at all. There have been tons of people online going through the tech stack of UVU campus and saying like, hey, why are we getting grainy? Why don't you give us clearer images? In fact, you guys could show us an image here. They're not doing that. They're just going with this like grainy image and saying that's it. And you can get this grainy image, but we can't tell you much more. Now, again, it's an open investigation. They're under a lot of pressure. There is no question. I'm certainly not going to let this go. And I want the public to not let this go, because you were spiritually impacted by watching a man be publicly executed. And you need to keep that energy and understand that something is very wrong here. Nothing they are saying feels good to me. Honestly, the thing that they said that felt the best to me is when they said that there's probably somebody else involved. That sounds about right. 2 people, maybe these aren't even the same people. Maybe the guy in the maroon is not the same as the guy in the black shirt. That would make sense.
Hold on, sis. Hold on.
So I don't specifically know the Mauser. I don't know how it breaks down. I don't know how. I know a little bit about bolt action rifles. I'm not really a bolt action guy. I see where she's going with some of this stuff, because you usually don't take down rifles like that. Like, that's not a thing unless you. I think someone in the chat said like you can buy a takedown version of it where you can separate the barrel, but it's like $4 to $5 grand, and like that seems plausible to me that maybe it was a takedown, like you were able to take it down. I don't know how well it takes down like that. Like, I know my rifle, my AR, 2 pins and it's 2 pieces, and so I
Well, hold on, Monte. I found somebody who's I guess he's a bit of a gun expert. Hold on, let's hear this guy out on News Nation because I actually had to look this up.
There are market accessories that would allow you to break this gun down. He said bolt action, because this is typically the choice for long range sniper. A bolt action looks like this. It has pieces. When you put the bolt forward and engage around, it locks in place. And because nothing happens after you pull the trigger except the click, the amount of gas pressure in the barrel remains consistent. And that's why this type of gun is preferred for long range shots.
And it doesn't expel the cartridge either, which I learned. So he took that cartridge with him, and it was found inside the gun, according to some reports.
Yeah, because he didn't.
In a magazine. How quickly, if it is broken down, because it doesn't look like he's jumping with a long rifle tucked in his leg. It looks like it's got to be in that backpack. So how quickly could he break it down if he needed to break it down?
You have a question. So is it supposed to be like the 7mm Mauser, or is that like the... What's the deal here with this one? I'm not sure.
They said 30-06, so
36. Yeah, 36.
I was gonna say, 'cause I have one that chambers 5 by oh hell. No, my brain is 7 by 57s. I can't put the 7mm in there. But it is not a light firearm, and it is big. Like
that one, I mean, from the pictures, it didn't look that big. Like, I am not familiar with bolt action guns at all. Period. Like, I've wanted to get into them, but like has not been on my plate recently. But it doesn't look like a large weapon. Like in the picture, it looks like maybe a couple feet long. But I'm completely ignorant on that part of it. I do know that it, like, in order to believe, like, you have to take every single one of these things and not put them in a vacuum on their own. If you believe that he's, capable of making one shot, no follow-ups, we're talking about him breaking the weapon down and reassembling it. I do understand that if you break a weapon down and reassemble it, your zero is going to be off. Like you're not.
Well, but according to this gun expert, he's saying that it's not possible, that he disassembled it in seconds.
In seconds? Let's see what he does.
Literally just push a button and wrap it around, push another button and wrap it back. They're designed to be able to be put into full length mode or compact mode extremely quickly.
Oh, he just said it was.
Make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Given what we've now seen, Stephen, I think a lot of that video is brand new since we called you earlier today. Now we're seeing him running to the edge of the building, jumping off that building. He's holding onto the backpack as he's jumping and landing with the backpack. Most of us would drop whatever heavy thing we have so that it makes the landing less painful. But he jumps with that backpack. Does that make you think that he did break the rifle down and that he did put it in the backpack?
Not necessarily. With all the things going on in his mind, he's probably not thinking about what's the best way to land here. He's thinking about getting away. There's no danger of the gun going off if he were to have dropped it, because what's in the chamber is still the expended
cartridge,
the empty brass. So he could smash that gun as hard as he wants. It's not going to go off again.
Well, maybe no. So I don't subscribe to that. Hold on.
Not have put that.
Hold on. I don't think it's I'm scared the gun's going to go off. That's a false premise of the idea. I think he wants to be concealable as soon as he falls off that roof. He doesn't want the police to be rushing in and see this guy on the side of a campus breaking a weapon down. He wants to see maybe a guy's walking around after he just jumped off of a roof. Think about that without the speculation. Like, that is a logical thing to do, to have your plan so that as soon as you enter back into non-concealment, like you're not concealed anymore, you're not hiding on a rooftop, you're not hiding in bushes, you're walking amongst the public now, you do not want to be seen by anybody, especially after a shot just rang out, disassembling a weapon on the ground.
All right, let's hold on. Let's see what else he got to say.
Press the trigger. Clear that. When he pressed the trigger, the gun would have gone off, and then the bolt would have gone back, and spent brass would have gone out.
Yes, that's how a gas-operated gun works. I get it.
Didn't want to leave.
Why is he talking about this?
Which doesn't make too much sense why he still left the gun so close to the scene where it could easily be and was recovered.
So pretty much his main explanation was in the beginning of the video. So just making sure we got the full explanation here.
Aftermarket accessories that would allow you to break this gun down. He selected a bolt action because this is typically the choice for long range sniper. A bolt action looks like this. It has very few moving pieces. When you put the bolt forward and engage around, it locks in place. And because nothing happens after you pull the trigger except the click, the amount of gas pressure in the barrel remains consistent. And that's why this type of gun is preferred for long range shots.
And it doesn't expel the cartridge either, which I learned. So he took that cartridge with him, and it was found inside the gun.
Yes, because you have to re-rack the bolt.
Along with some others in the magazine. How quickly, if it is broken down, because it doesn't look like he's jumping with a long rifle tucked in his leg. It looks like it's got to be in that backpack. So how quickly could he break it down if he needed to break it down?
A second or two.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. So
literally just push a button and wrap it around, push another button and wrap it back.
He could have done that as he was like getting up and running.
As he was running, yeah.
Full length mode or compact mode extremely quickly.
Okay.
Well, that would make perfect sense.
Given
what we've now seen, Stephen, I think a lot of that video is brand new since we called you earlier today. Now we're seeing him running to the edge of the building, jumping off that building. He's holding onto the backpack as he...
So,
yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
He's explaining the video in with his expert. He's not saying that it's not possible. He just said it could happen in a second or two, and then explained why you wouldn't use a gas-operated weapon. Okay. I was like, why did he pull an AR up? Like, everybody knows how an AR works. I hope. But yeah, so like I said, I don't know enough to say how fast you can take that weapon down. Just because I've never been around that type of weapon. I've never shot that type of weapon, anything like that. So I don't have the, it could be a second or two, or it's going to take 6 years to do it, and it's not completely possible. I foresee that if they're saying that there's a takedown kit available to make the gun break apart faster, then I would believe that would be meant for a situation where you'd want to take it down relatively quickly or relatively easy. And if he knows that weapon, because maybe he installed that kit on there and put that kind of a barrel on there, he knows how to take it apart and put it back together, and would know how to do it with adrenaline moving. I don't know. Like, it's all... I try to get away from the premise that this is going to somehow turn into a 50 million different conspiracy theories because people don't like the graininess of the photo that they got. Like, they got the guy, and they're going to prove their case in court, and there's probably fall guys, and they're gonna investigate that. Like, come on.
All right.
Because why change your outfit? Both of these look like you would blend in on a college campus, so why are you blending in twice? Does that make any sense to you? Why would you change your outfit? Like, just like a random fashion show while you're going to murder someone? I just want to change my outfit for funsies. And then we hear...
No, it's a security test.
That Tyler Robinson, when he is apprehended, it is communicated to us that he is wearing the maroon outfit. Now, I want to be clear. They said this was 33 hours later. So he changed his outfit, I mean, ostensibly because he wants to avoid detection would be the only thing that's, I think, is reasonable to assume. But then he changes back into the outfit that he was wearing before the shooting. For what reason?
No,
33 hours later,
sterilizing
no shower
himself
time
from the scene.
He's wanted them to know that it was him on the camera. That's not clear to me. Why are we changing outfits? Are we just two different people? I
No.
think it's
Hold on. He's trying to sterilize his image to test the security when he goes in the maroon shirt and the brown pant or the light gray pants. He wants to walk around and see where he can get into, what doors are unlocked, all that fun shit, without drawing suspicion to himself because he has a gun, or he doesn't have a gun at this point, but because when he comes back, he's going to have a gun and he wants the quickest way in. But he wants it to be low key enough that,
He was
oh,
casing the joint.
huh?
He was casing the joint.
Yeah, he was casing the joint and then came back to do the deed and then changed back into clean clothes, like not like clean clothes, but they weren't looking for a guy in a maroon shirt and gray shorts. They were looking for a guy with a black t-shirt, black hat, American flag with an eagle on it, black or blue jeans. Like that's completely logical to do. That doesn't mean you're two different people.
I have one question, and then I'm more than happy to let Seth move on here. Like, they're all talking about them breaking it down, like, as soon as a shot is taken, yada. I haven't, like, I have weapons. My father he trained me, like, all this stuff. But all I remember is that barrel is hot.
Yeah.
So what I'm guessing is he's got that backpack full of clothes, because you notice he's got a big full backpack on most of the time.
Yeah.
So that way he's changing clothes, but he's still got the clothes available. They found him 3 days later. Dude probably wanted to put on some clean clothes. I mean, I'm not gonna like go crazy about why he's changing his clothes, but
yeah.
Like that's just, I think, again, she's kind of going really far with this one. But okay, she's grieving. Let her do what she does. But like, if he put the firearm in the bag with the clothes as soon as he shot it,
It would burn the clothes.
And wouldn't so now I think she's looking to try and find holes, but I think she's
Well, what
looking
if
at the wrong ones, maybe.
what
I
if
don't know.
what if the clothes were just in the car?
Well, it's fully feasible that dude could break it down, run off, and then take off. And it's only making sense that he's casing the joint. He doesn't want to stick out. He doesn't want to show up on the cameras hours early. So he's just trying to blend in on college campus. So I mean, she's going to tear this apart just because Charlie was her friend, and she's trying to make sense of a really tragic incident.
She's trying to cope, and I get that, but it's like she's talking about flooding the field with different ideas. There is one pretty much agreed upon idea and narrative, and it's like the only people adding things are the conspiracy theorists, not the government. The government has been pretty consistent in what they've said they're looking for.
All right. Well, shoot. There has been some criticism of Cash Patel, but we'll probably get into those later.
Yeah, I mean,
that's to ask that question. Are there two different people that are involved? Another thing that's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman put up $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child, who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, we then he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I say my kid did it, that's enough for an arrest. What if the kid says he didn't do it? I didn't do it. Dad says you did. Okay, how did they arrest him without a confession? I'm going to show you Governor Cox's statement where he says that the kid is not confessed. Take a listen.
I know you heard that report by Matt Gutman and this latest reporting in the New York Times that some of the suspect's acquaintances were allegedly talking to him online and joking and thought they recognized him from those early photos. Can you tell us anything about that this morning or anything further on the investigation?
Well, all we can confirm is that those conversations definitely were happening, and they did not believe it was actually him. It was all joking until he admitted that it actually was him.
And anything new on the investigation? You say he admitted that, confessed?
No, not again. He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating.
And shout out Daniel Castro. He says, "Wouldn't be hot and field stripping only takes a minute."
Yeah, I mean, so to your point, like
Castro.
not Castro, Misfit. After shooting one time, I can't imagine the barrel would be that hot that it would
That's what I'm
burn.
trying to figure out. Yeah, because when we would go, of course, when you go to the range, they get hot. But I'm just that's why I was
but
asking,
that's because you're shooting all
that's
day. I mean,
how hot would it be after one round? You know. So, thank you, Castro.
All right, shout out to my man Maine. He had too much to say. Just want to show some support. Appreciate the support, guys.
And I think that's very important. There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can confirm that as well, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
Okay, so I'm just not entirely clear on this confession element. Did the pastor just say he did it? Did the father say he did it, but they didn't have any proof? Again, this is obviously everyone's investigating. We yield to them. Do I think this kid was involved somehow? Yeah. Do I think he did this alone? Absolutely not. The story makes entirely no sense. And then there's this random Discord over Discord. Okay. So Governor Cox came out and told us that there were messages about the rifle drop point. Okay. Discord says not the same thing. Let's listen to Governor Cox say that on this social media app, Discord, they were discussing the rifle drop point. Take a listen.
Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that
So, in my opinion, he got those messages as soon as that happened, right? It's kind of the narrative that they're painting. He's an accomplice to his murder.
You know,
he didn't report him.
Like, are they going to bring him in on charges too, or maybe because
absolutely they should bring him on charges? If
they should, but if he's turning on him, then
no, that's he wouldn't be turning on him unless he hadn't been caught, or unless he had been caught. So he was concealing where he had dropped the rifle. He's concealing evidence about that. Someone just got shot, and now he's talking about a rifle drop point around the area. Why wasn't a tip called in by him?
I mean, did he go out to go get the rifle?
No, because the FBI went get it.
No, I mean, there you go, right there. I think if he'd have picked up that rifle, he'd have been screwed. But I think you can also get plausible deniability with the hold on. I didn't know he was going to do that. I didn't know until he told me to go.
He just said he did it. He just said go get the rifle after it happened. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at
there's
that
24
point,
hours. There's 24 to 36 hours after him being shot and him being caught. And this boyfriend did not turn him in. His dad did. His boyfriend kept his fucking mouth shut and let him get further down the process. Let him get further away. So he's aiding and abetting that. Am I far off?
Damn, damn.
Set,
I don't know if we can.
if I had,
here's the thing: you're not far off. You're not, but it's just
Yeah.
hard to say if he definitively knew. No way, you're right. No, he did say he admitted the murder
Yeah.
to him already.
yeah,
So
if I texted you 20 minutes after Charlie Kirk was shot, and I was like, "Hey, I need you to get on a plane and come pick this rifle up. I just shot Charlie Kirk." Would you turn me in or not?
and we got to remember who this boyfriend is. He's a
Yeah.
person who hates Christians, hate conservatives, admitted
That
by a
doesn't mean
relative.
anything. That doesn't mean
So,
anything. You
I
just
mean,
you just
no, it's more of a reason of why he wouldn't, give
why
him
he
up.
wouldn't do it, but that doesn't change the facts of the crime. He
It doesn't
aided
change
and
the facts of the crime, just change the facts that he wouldn't give him up. But you're right. It is possible.
Yeah.
It is. I wouldn't say possibly embedding, but you do have a really good case for it. Mm-mm.
He had changed outfits.
Okay. So he changed outfits. Again, unclear why he did that. Unclear why he would then put the outfit back on 33 hours later. Most people just shower within that time. I did receive contact from one of Tyler Robinson's classmates, and they said that was the strangest part to them. They told me that was the strangest part, the 33-hour putting on an outfit that he had on 33 hours early, because they described him as remarkably tidy. He was a tidy individual. So they that flagged them as weird. Just seems like a little extra work. Again, unnecessary, right? Completely unnecessary. You're getting nothing.
So
out of
it's
hold
on, Seth.
We have.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary to change your identity after you just committed an assassination on live TV and your picture is circulating around. What do you mean it's unnecessary? That's absolutely thought process 101. Change your description because your description has been put out by the police.
But the something you wore before, though, I don't know. Maybe because think about it, people are definitely going to be scrubbing your social media after this.
Well, he didn't say anything about the maroon short or the maroon shirt and the gray shorts. They kept that information until after the suspect was caught. So he didn't know that they knew that already. So it's completely plausible for him to put the clothes he thinks are clean back on and try to blend back in.
Well, that's rude. We didn't even know about the maroon shirt until we found out about the photoshopping of the Trump shirt on him.
Yeah.
A statement from Discord, which kind of disputes that. Discord says, in the course of our investigation, we identified a Discord account associated with the suspect, but have found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord, a spokesperson told in a statement. Again, maybe they need more time. And they're going to get
they need more time.
They're going to get a lot of time because it will be never that I let this go. It will be absolutely never that I let this go. Everything just spiritually feels very wrong here. Yeah. It feels like we are being lied to by who? I'm not sure. Are there some good guys? Of course, there's always good guys in government, but there are too many bad guys in government for me to feel good about this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are obviously going to continue to follow this to tighten up this timeline with the most up-to-date information that we can possibly have, everything that we could possibly learn about the father that is involved in this. I want to know more about the father. He's being described as a hero. He turned his son in. Okay, I don't trust anything right now. Okay, I trust absolutely nothing. I think everyone needs to be investigated. Every person that is even mentioned should be investigated. We have a right to do that, and we're going to continue to do that. All right, guys, before I get into some of your comments, I want to remind you guys about Pure Talk, because when was the last time that you bragged?
But all right, that's pretty much the end of her spiel right there. Yeah, well, I know she went quite all on the deep end on that one. I mean, from asserting that Israel got something to do with it to pretty much stating that, there maybe possibly it was not even possible for him to break down the gun. There might have been some type of foul play out there. He might have walked off so casually because he knew he had a decoy. So there might be a second suspect. Is honestly what I've been hearing about too. Possible second suspect, which is crazy. All right, what you guys think?
Oh, I mean, it is what it is. I think the guy that shot him is in custody. I believe he's a tranny furry. Or sorry, his boyfriend's a tranny furry, which was the most shocking development out of all of this.
Man.
The furry part, that kind of took me aback for a second. And now apparently he's also a Mossad agent. So
it shows what side.
Man, but hold on now.
very, very clearly.
Shout out to my man Daniel Castro. Candace wants to tie it to Israel. Let's be real.
That's really what it is. She wants to put doubt on this guy and say, nah, it's a Mossad agent. That's why he shot him in the neck so perfectly, so cleanly, and
she didn't say
got away.
Mossad, but what else could you try to call him though if you're trying to say it's tied to Israel?
No, I really don't see an Israel connect. I see a lot of people reaching, grasping, which makes
I know, but didn't you guys see the hand gestures and all that? It's like
that was
yeah.
Cool.
I see a lot of people saying a lot of things. That doesn't mean a lot of things are true. I see what actually happened, and what actually happened is some fucking dumb, stupid motherfucker thought he was doing something good because the oligarchy, the whole group of society told him this person is a fascist. So
and now, if I put my tinfoil hat on, I can subscribe to all of this.
Monty, it's the baby Hitler argument.
Yeah.
But all right, shout out to my man Ham. He said no laws requiring someone to report a crime or murder. That is why mandatory reporters exist. Roommate didn't give material support, so no charge.
And you know what, Seth? According to that, I am not surprised people are not saying something. I am not surprised. The reason why is because the government will punish you for defending an innocent person.
Yep.
And all right, guys. And all right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and end it there, and I'll be back around. All right, we're gonna say around 2 a.m. and we'll head back. We'll pop back up with the political show with a media analysis. All right, guys. The set with S.E.T Media, and man, shout out to the panel.
Hey, I love being referred to as the panel. I feel like I'm on Piers Morgan.
Yeah, so shout out Monty, Misfit in Maine. So appreciate you guys for coming on. All right, guys,
you hopping in Discord?
Sure, I gotta set up for the show real quick.
All right.
But guys, I'll try to get in there before the show, though. Well, all right, guys. I'll catch you guys later on, and and everybody be safe, guys. Today, modern AI is quite advanced, except two problems. It is censored, and it takes your information. Well, it's hard to find a tech company that don't. But let me introduce you to one. Shout out to my sponsor, Venice AI, which allows you to protect your information and avoid censorship. Now ask yourself, why should a team of programmers at these leading AI apps be the ones to decide what is okay for you to ask and think? Also, would you be comfortable if the presidential administration could govern what AI tells you? Man, I know I wouldn't. But also, while you think about that, did you know that? Let me tell you this, it's gonna be crazy, but ChatGPT has a former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now, guys. And shout out to that man, Edward Snowden. He called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. And we all know how Alexa is. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. I mean, talk about a violation of privacy. But guys, these are just a few reasons I decided to team up with Venice AI and get you a better options or solutions to your AI needs. Now, guys, you can go ahead and check these guys out with my promo code. So shout out to Venice AI. Now, if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or government, you can get 20% off a pro plan using my link, Venice AI S.E.T, and use the code S.E.T. Man, so shout out, guys. So make sure you guys use the code. Put it up one more time for you guys right there. Once again, guys, if you guys want to go ahead and have unleashed AI, uncensored AI, go ahead and tap in with my guys at Venice AI, guys. Hey, this is S.E.T and appreciate the support. And shout out to the sponsor.